Or make sure you end this when you're done.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it's gonna be weird.
Let's see. Get weird. Thank you.
Setting up your meeting. Done. Redirecting. Otherwise, it's gonna be weird.
Oh,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 10:28. Official start time. We had some technical difficulties, but we overcame them. So apologize for the late start time. But we have a 10:28 official start time for today's meeting. So we can go ahead and get started. And I'll just start with an open meeting statement. This meeting and all other meetings of this committee are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the media in accordance with Wisconsin statutes so that the citizenry may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of this meeting. Should just be noted as well that we are just adjacent, three feet away from the original meeting location within the sheriff's office, just adjacent to the conference room in the emergency manager's office. So the other conference room was being used today. And so we're just adjacent to that, one literal door swing away. Okay. Roll call will show that all members are present and Craig is taking notes for us today. So first order of business here for point 3 is review and approve the agenda. We do have an amended agenda. I added point 8 there, review and approve the proposed budget that I sent out via email for everyone. Does anyone have any questions on the amended agenda?
Make a move to approve the agenda, amended agenda.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
All right. And then the minutes of the previous meeting, so May 5th, we had you have your minutes there as written. Any questions on those minutes? Looking for a
Make a
motion.
motion to approve as printed.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
Public comment? No one from the public here today? Offered? Okay. Update on my end. So. Report on the office move to the temporary location. I think kind of the report, things have we are now in, let's see here. So we moved it the last week of January. So February, March, April, May, June, July. Now we're into August. So just over 6 months into our move. And I would say that the office pressure is about the same, except for the calendar is elongated, meaning that we have to, our hours are stretched a little bit because we follow the same time frame that the hours of operation that the building utilizes. So we're on 410s. So Fridays are covered by me virtually. So all 3 office phones bounce out to my cell phone and I work off my laptop and the cell phone remotely. We don't hold traditional office hours on Fridays, but we're working basically 6 to 4 Monday through Thursday, and then I cover the office 8 to 4 virtually over the phone and through my laptop on Fridays. So what that means is that, and then given the fact that all 3 of us are in the same room during Monday through Thursday, we stagger appointments to make sure that there's privacy. So, the calendar gets pushed out further. And so that makes it very awkward for scheduling purposes. So while I would say that we're meeting the demand of the public and our veterans, it's awkward. It's not sustainable. So I want to get out of in front of anybody saying, well, they could do that forever. And that, you know, kind of an austere environment like that is fine for the veterans. They're making it work. And then, they could operate in a postage stamp size space forever.
Yeah.
And what they have proposed for the build could be minimized. And, because, 2 years from now, a lot can happen in 2 years with the build and with, public property and with budget overruns or whatever is coming down the pipe for whatever's happening with the build. I just want everybody to be aware that what we've asked for is necessary and needed, and any budget requests shouldn't be meddled with.
Yeah.
So just so that whether it be finance or any other committee, public property, or any other entity should start looking at where can we belt tighten or cut corners or start carving off, because we're at the tail end of the build process.
Okay.
And if the budget starts needing to be cut, it shouldn't come from us, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna start to look at, well, these offices have done this now for 2 years, they can just keep doing it. That can't be the case for us. It's very awkward what we're doing. We're able to do it, but it's not sustainable and it's not ideal. And it's not good for the veteran community, and it's not good for our staff and our
And the
office
veteran
environment.
environment too, so
And it's not good for
we're
our
using a very large room in their building.
Yeah.
That they would normally use, but they're operating a little differently.
And they need it back. Yeah, and we can't, when we go back to whatever the new space is gonna be, 3 offices in a row or whatever the
Yeah.
new space is gonna be. We need what we've asked for,
Yeah.
you know.
Being out there, and being in your offices,
Yep.
definitely that I will support you
Thank you.
100% on that.
Thank
Because
you.
I've been there, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, I bother you guys, but I can see.
You come
that
see what we're
you-
working.
I can see the conditions. You can only have one customer at a time
Right.
with the privacy that
Yeah.
you guys have to instill, so.
Yeah.
One interesting thing though with our hours is that we've been able to take veterans as early as 6:30 in the morning, which is super helpful for somebody who's working, a shift at Gulfstream or Fountain or Gusmer. They're like, oh, I can get in here right before work and I don't have to take vacation. So that's actually pretty interesting, the past few months.
And well, Thanksgiving, I think. It's the end, and then they go back to 5 days.
Switch back.
So you'll have that till, I think it's February, after leave.
Over the winter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you do have 5 days then, but then you're back to shifting hours
Yeah.
again, so it's not conducive to the public. You start setting it up one way and then.
When is the build supposed to be done? Another year?
2 to 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
hours thing isn't so much the issue as the fact that we don't have the privacy that we need.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting,
Correct.
the
Yeah.
bottom line of what I'm getting at is we can't cut the costs and we can't have a modified space when we get back to where we're going.
All right.
So I'm getting ahead of, I have heard it said before in other places, well, they've done it that way.
Yeah.
So they proved that they can do it.
Yeah,
So now we can cut their costs.
yeah.
I'm getting ahead of that and I don't want to hear that because that has been said before many, many times
Yeah.
and used as justification for cutting their budget or cutting their ask or cutting their,
Yeah,
request for.
future plans,
Correct.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, or cutting staff or cutting whatever.
Yeah,
To say, well, they've done it they prove they can handle it, so let's just do it that way.
Well, let's get it, put a lot of burden on you though.
Absolutely, it does.
You
Yeah,
don't get paid anymore.
I don't get overtime for working
Yeah.
45
So-
to 55 hours a week,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, September 25th, final responder relationship and professional development event is, coming up. So what that looks like is traditionally we've done a, um, we've done a meeting with our funeral directors. So our funeral directors come in for a luncheon where we meet for 2 hours or so. And we sit down with them and we try to talk with them about how to make the process of working with our office with the funeral directors to make that process as seamless as possible. So the way that that works is that veterans in the community pass, and then they notify our office either through next of kin or through the funeral directors, and then a whole suite of services get kicked in that include coordination between our office, Wisconsin Military Funeral Honors Program, cemetery officials, and funeral directors, next of kin, and the federal VA, including the Veterans Benefits Administration and uh, the VA's monument creation, the National Cemetery Administration, where they create the actual monuments and markers. And then the actual monument companies back here that receive those created monuments and then place them.
okay,
And so all that web of coordination, we're kind of a hub for that.
Yeah.
So in order to make all of that work, there's a lot of touch points in communication that happens, and traditionally that's happened just over the phone. And if you think that process through, if we don't handle that carefully, that can create like 10 to 15 phone calls for one individual.
oh geez,
So if you have a volume of people within a year, that you see our TAPS listing, there's 150 people on that list times 10. That's 1,500 phone calls right there
one of them's me.
for just for just one aspect of what we do. So 1,500, that's call volume for just deaths.
Jeez.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so as an administrator of that office, how do I reduce call volume just for one aspect of what we do? This is one component of how we do that. So we created what was called our reporting portal on our website. So I've asked the funeral directors to come up with or to start using a portal on our website, a secure portal, to rather than call in and report the death of a veteran, report all the information we need on a secure portal. We started that a couple years ago, and we did that in conjunction with this meeting to roll that out.
Okay.
Like any rollout of a new initiative, it's rocky. There's issues. It doesn't go exactly as planned. But we're in a good place right now, and a lot of people are utilizing that, and it's getting better and better. And this meeting is getting better and better. And this year we're incorporating even more. We're inviting the cemetery out at King director Andy Whitman, who's confirmed that he's going to come. And when we bring in speakers like that, it brings more funeral directors in because they want to touch point with them.
Yeah.
We're going to ask in fact, that'll be my next conversation after we leave here today, is hopefully I'll catch Kathy and talk with her, have Kathy come and speak
Yeah, okay,
as well. And then we've actually made bereavement packets, and Craig has personally delivered these bereavement packets, which includes our customized folder with some information, including a bereavement one sheet with a memorandum, our business cards, and a nice packet of information for the next of kin that we've given to each one of the funeral directors and said, you can give these. This is, something that our office has personalized and detailed and put together for each one of the next of kin, and we will continue to give these to you, to give to next of kin, and to just continue to support you with these. Please come to this meeting. We'll talk to you about this whole process and continue to, because they felt like, why don't you want to talk to us on the phone? It's not that we don't want to talk to you on the phones. We don't want 10 phone calls over this one situation. The call volume we can't handle. There's, from their perspective is we're one funeral home and
Yeah.
this is the most important thing going on.
Going on.
Well, we're only 3 individuals and we have 6 funeral homes.
Yeah, sometimes it's not as easy as, we're not busy, I'm waiting for the
Correct.
phone to ring. For a
Correct.
funeral home or funeral home to report.
Right.
I might be busy doing something, I get a voicemail, then I go to call John Dalkey back.
They're busy.
and He's busy, and
Yeah,
That's where the
it's
10 calls
It's a
come.
wasted time, when
Yeah.
they could have just reported it with
Yeah.
that online.
And I call one something.
No, you're fine.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the guy that the National Honor Society or calls for firing,
Right.
so
Right.
they gotta coordinate that I gotta get 6 guys and, and who's coming at what time and, but no, I'm glad you guys.
We're trying to simplify.
Yeah.
Well, you can see where when we have a volume of that, it's the management of the volume of these calls becomes a real issue for us. So when we create a structure around trying to deal with that, it allows us to be able to provide better one-to-one service. When we have a meeting with a veteran for an hour, we can focus on that veteran for an hour, and then we can get on to the next task. It's task stack, manage, and then move to the next bit of work. So
Well, the only comment I got is how to get the monument marker, flag marker.
Yep.
For either through the funeral home or because later on, somebody calls and says, Lee, where do I get a marker? Not that I'm complaining, I'm getting them, I can get them, you guys, you look good, but I don't know they don't get one,
Yeah.
So
we
if you can work with the funeral directors, make sure that they,
That's
at
great.
least advise
Mhm.
the whichever group is responsible for that cemetery.
So that's a great opportunity. I will call it an opportunity because it's always going to be. That's going to be an ongoing problem
Yeah.
or an ongoing opportunity that will continue to have. We don't have a good resolution for it because right now the way it works is we have over 60 cemeteries scattered throughout the county. Right
Yeah.
now we purchase those, and what he's talking about is their medallions about this big. And I'll just give you the whole backstory because it's a great conversation. We used to have bronze,
Mhm.
and they're the flag holders. They come on a stake. It used to be bimetal, meaning the stake was steel, the holder was bronze,
Mhm.
and then we had a flag in it. We used to have 2 size flags. They were a wooden stake or a wooden spike. I'm gonna get all the terminology wrong.
That's right.
Steel stake, bronze holder, and then the wooden staff that the flag was on. The flag we had 2 different size flags.
Okay.
And then it had a golden spike on the top I forget the terminology, but it had a golden top on the top of the wooden flag.
Okay.
So these are all the components. First set of problems. Anytime you have 2 dissimilar metals together, they would rust weld together. So we would buy these now, and when you had steel and when you had bronze, these metals are expensive, and we would purchase these annually. So that was the first problem. The next problem was bronze metal was carried a lot of weight at scrap. So we would have literally we had a people would go and steal these and scrap them. So we had a complaint open with the sheriff's office, and Deputy Stevens at the time was investigating people scrapping these things out of the graveyards. So that's where some of them went.
I don't. I
So that's
didn't know
where
that.
a
Yeah,
lot of
okay,
them went.
Yeah.
And so that was the first problem. Then the other problem was, as these things would tarnish in various capacities, whether they'd be in the sun or the rain or the snow or
Mhm.
however they were, the stake would go bad at one rate, or the bronze holder would go bad at another rate, or they would get hit by a lawnmower and get bent.
Yep.
You couldn't twist it off and replace different components
So,
because they were rust welded together. Then the other problem would happen is that we were purchasing these era specific, so there would be a Vietnam veteran one, a World War II veteran one, a Korea veteran one, another.
Mhm.
So we would purchase them era specific, and each veteran would want, next of kin now, would want a different era specific one, and they were different prices. And then the other thing was you would have to go to a different distributor to find the different era specific ones. Right, so that was another issue with trying to locate these annually. And then find the right quantities of each, and they would all expire at different rates.
yeah.
Another issue. So eventually we said, okay, we're gonna go to all aluminum for all of them. And then we're gonna get rid of the different size flags. We're gonna go to one size flag, that's it.
Simplify.
Simplify not only inventory
Mhm.
management, but standardize across all cemeteries.
Yeah.
That was a big change.
Yeah.
Because for decades and decades, this only cemetery has only this size flag, and this cemetery has only this type of, and so that was a big change. That rocked a lot of boats.
Yeah.
It took a long time to get there, but we got there. So now we have aluminum, but it's bronzed aluminum, so they paint it to look like bronze,
Mhm.
and it says US veteran on it.
Okay.
We don't have World War II, we don't have Vietnam, everybody's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody gets US veteran, bronzed aluminum,
Mm-hmm.
and the stake is aluminum, and the holder's aluminum, so no more bimetal
Okay.
issues. So if the stake breaks, we can replace it. And if the holder should theoretically never anodize or
Mhm.
change or oxidize rather, or change. And all the flags are the same size and type, so that we got rid of a lot of problems that way. So we're kind of slowly getting rid of a lot of the issues, and a lot of the issues of theft have gone away because nobody wants to scrap
Yeah.
the aluminum, and there's not the same, issues that way. Now, the other thing is too, is that they're not, one of the problems is that when people are buried
Statement request you got in the mail?
and they don't go to Craig or Cindy or I and get a veteran monument or have a plaque on it that indicates that they were veteran, we rely on the veteran service organizations to place these for us.
Okay.
60 different cemeteries, thousands of veterans. I mean, our database holds 15,000 veterans right now.
Okay.
Across all these cemeteries, and many of those are deceased, And so for us, our three of us to go out and place these annually is impossible.
Yeah.
So what happens is many of these graves go unmarked with these flags and flag holders if there's no indication that they were ever a veteran.
Okay.
And that when we had this recently in Northport Ostrander. No indication on this private marker that this individual was a veteran.
Okay.
Their surviving spouse is still alive. Now, an issue of ownership becomes an issue. When you pass and you are in a private cemetery, and there's a living next of kin, someone owns that grave and that marker. A privately purchased marker and a privately purchased grave there is ownership there.
Mhm.
And there are rules to a cemetery. The cemetery you have to follow the rules of the cemetery. Whatever can be placed there, and whoever owns it can place whatever they want. within the rules of the cemetery there. But that doesn't prohibit other next of kin that know of that grave from wanting things to be placed
Mhm.
there
Mhm.
and making waves about things wanting to be placed there.
Yeah.
And that will happen for generations
Oh, fine.
as more people go out to Memorial Day ceremonies and
Yeah.
things like that, and they see those things and they will want things placed there.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you have a private grave and there's not, that person or that next of kin chose a private marker and didn't want any indication that there was other than in the obituary said they were a proud veteran and that's it.
Yeah.
And then on the grave itself, there's no marker. They didn't want a marker at the time.
Yeah.
And they still don't want a marker.
Yeah.
Now they can change their mind later on, and the next of kin after that next of kin passes can change their mind later on.
That's
that
true.
doesn't-
Happens.
And that happens, but that doesn't mean that someone who's further down on the next of kin line that's still alive now can usurp that person and say, no, I want it now. Well, you can't go,
Yeah.
I can't go and just place a plaque on that person. They own that marker. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
absolutely,
So-
I think it's a horrible thing, I mean, if
Right.
you're a veteran, your surviving spouse and or should still. That should still be placed there, I
They
know
may-
people's got their own,
may not
but
want
I
it,
think
yeah.
it's, that's just,
That's where.
that's my opinion,
That's
yeah.
where hopefully you can, when you have the, Andy Everhart and them,
It just
you
sounds,
can work with them there, please.
Yeah.
it sounds like
And
people,
ask-
some people still
ask
hate
the
the
family
military
and-
so much that they
Yeah.
don't want the recognition of this one that served and what, this,
Yeah.
and this. Well, you're dead now, why would,
Yeah.
I don't have to honor that, yeah.
Yep, and sometimes it comes down to for instance. Private grave.
Yep.
Private grave marker,
Yep.
you can ask the VA to make a bronze plaque to put on it.
Mhm.
You might not want a bronze plaque on it, might not match the grave,
Yep, yep,
okay? Let's say you picked a blue marble or a black grave, black marble. And you
Okay,
say, it's not gonna look right. And they just say, I just don't want it,
yeah,
and maybe that person said they made all the prior preparation, as they say, don't worry about it, just mention it I don't want the recognition. I just don't want it in my stuff, leave it out. That was their wishes.
yeah.
And the next of kin knows about
But
it.
then
Yeah.
20 years later, you get a nephew who's like,
Bingo.
I know they were a veteran and
And I wanted it,
yeah,
important
I
to
was
me,
never on
I
yeah.
wanted on
And they were never in on that conversation.
Exactly.
Right.
With the surviving spouse 20 years ago.
Well,
Oh,
we had two well, actually the same day, but I had a private ceremony.
Yep.
And, nobody was involved. They called us. Didn't get the state to come,
Yep.
And luckily I got a flag somehow, and, but, they buried their ashes in a ammo can.
Okay.
And okay, now I still don't know. I'll have to investigate whether, I don't remember now that I'm talking about it, whether we got the grave markers,
Yeah.
so it's,
Does-
it
yeah.
does happen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was the first time, and I didn't want to do it, but being the commander of our, but,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
I said, print it out on a 3x5 so I can say the words that you have to say and then hand them the flag.
There you
So
go.
I said, I can't do this. You're gonna have to, nobody else will. Well, but
Right.
yeah, so there's a lot of, but working with the
Yeah.
cemetery or the undertakers,
Yeah.
to, as much as possible, but.
And this is gonna be a big part of what we talk about this time around too. And there's also changes in law. We had a change in law in 2020. Well, the result of a change in law in 2010 resulted in a change in 2024 that placed a grave in Marion, Big Falls rather. That someone out of county wanted. Okay. So, and that created. It opened the door for eligibility that was not there, but it created. Someone outside of the county said, I want this grave marked with one period. So we said, okay, well, we'll contact the next of kin. The next of kin didn't want it
Yeah,
until we said, hey, we did some digging. Someone, asked if we, sure enough, we contacted, um, um, the National Cemetery Administration. They're willing to produce it if you're willing to sign the paperwork that you want it.
Mhm.
And they said, sure. Now, I say all that to say too, is that there's another wrinkle to the whole thing, is that the National Cemetery Administration is willing to produce all this for free.
Mhm.
We're willing to do all the paperwork for free.
Yeah,
They'll even ship it to the monument company for free. Here's the catch. Monument company will go place it for a fee. So there is a fee associated with placing a monument, including laying the cement if you're gonna inlay a bronze plaque.
Usually anywhere from like 150 to.
Yeah.
Maybe up to $1,000.
And that's the thing. It could be up
If
to
you're doing
$1,000.
full concrete and then
Right.
setting, a marker in the concrete, I believe it's probably hundreds of dollars.
About with what, and so. Part of what so we've had to cover the cost in some cases, it was about $450.
wow.
So for an inlay, so,
okay,
but.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
if you're gonna,
Oh, we gotta do the job.
if it's important, it's important, so. Um,
131, go ahead.
so I'd say all that to say that's another wrinkle, is that, okay, it's free up until a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's part of this whole discussion with the first responders. So sometimes it's important to a third or fourth or fifth generation next of kin. And then even roll back all the way to COVID, we had two, maybe three, I think it was two requests from outside people. And when I say outside people, is outside of the county, individuals that wanted entire lists of all of our deceased veterans outside of the county, from outside the county, all deceased veterans in all their plot locations in the county.
Why?
It's a good question. They were bored. Don't know. Just
Do
wanted
some research.
Get a puzzle.
So, so there are always entities in all locations and all angles and all aspects who are interested in what are you doing, why are you doing it, and what do you
Yeah,
so. So I mean, the interest is kind of never ending. So. All right. So
That's okay.
yeah. So that's kind of the first responder event coming up.
Last responder.
Or excuse me, yes, I keep saying first responder, final responder.
yeah,
So the final responder relationship and professional development event. So we're
Okay.
going to be holding that September 25th. And so it's a luncheon. You're welcome to attend. We basically give a presentation. We talk with the final responders that do have the opportunity to meet with us, and then we talk about all these matters
Mhm.
and try to improve our relationship with them. October Veterans Coalition meeting, that's coming up in October. We have not yet landed on a date or a topic, but within that meeting, we will talk a little bit about, I don't know if you're familiar with the Commandant's Home at King.
no,
Commandant's Home at King is one of the last historic buildings. So they've saved one of the chapels out there.
Okay.
The cabin is out, one of the cabins is out there yet. And then the Commandant's Home at King, those are the three kind of buildings that are left on the historic marker kind of registry thing. And the Commandant's Home at King is kind of in jeopardy, so to speak, with the state. They're not quite sure what to do with it. So kind of a small team of folks have come together, including the Waupaca Historical Society and their nonprofit, and some the veteran service organizations are now involved, and our office has sort of been involved in visioning what to do with the property.
The county Legion meeting was up there just, was the fourth Tuesday of the month.
Very good, very good.
I've not had I didn't go, I couldn't get there.
Yeah,
And I have not had a report from, I have one gentleman that goes to all those meetings.
very good.
So I'll see what he has
Yeah.
to say, if that was brought up or not.
Yeah,
Well, and then going back to the year one before that.
Yeah.
The new county commander is up a lot better than the last one.
is that Dave Leader yet?
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
yep, and he's very involved in that.
yeah,
Yep.
so, yeah,
Are they
he'd be a
trying to
good guy too.
pay for it?
Yeah, in a manner of speaking,
Is it usable?
I mean, they're really looking to raise
Is it
some money.
museum type of usable?
That's gonna be part of it, is they wanna kind of put tours through it,
Okay,
generate a few funds that way, and then also vision. Future use. Use profiles for it,
Meeting space.
Meeting space.
too.
yeah. And so, that's a big part of what they're looking at for that property, and so. That'll be on the agenda to give an update on that project at that meeting. And then there'll also be a discussion about the repatriation of POW MIA remains. That the state of Wisconsin, in coordination with the UW system, I believe Madison and others, I think Oshkosh might also be involved in that with their um, with their forensic science and archaeology departments, I believe, are involved. Yeah, both at Madison and Oshkosh. I believe I might be misstating
I'm
Oshkosh's
assuming that
involvement.
they found more Wisconsin.
They're always looking.
Well, oh, that I know, yeah, but I think the last one that we had brought home were the Barber brothers.
Yes.
Just a couple years ago.
That was
So,
a
yeah.
couple years back. Repatriated out of the
Mhm.
Punch Bowl and then back to Wisconsin here, and then also I know that some out of North Korea, I believe, and then out of various locations, and they're always doing. It costs a lot of money for
Mhm.
DNA testing, and also site searching, and a lot of research goes into locations, and getting to the location, searching the location, confirming all that, and then repatriating is a lot of. So the state is involved in funding, and then also supporting the program. So I know Dan Naylor has been very involved in that, and he's going to be talking about an update on that, and maybe some fundraising to go with it. So those two updates will be involved in that meeting as well. Any questions on those three?
I know. You?
Okay, very good. Confirm next meeting date in November. We'll be looking at a date in November. And of course, we've got Veterans Day on the 11th, so I'd be looking at a date closer to the end of November, if at all possible.
17th or 24th?
Their deer season?
Yep, it sure is.
Or
24th
or
would
maybe the
be-
4th.
Actually, it would
Should
be,
we go there
doesn't
earlier?
deer season start the 22nd?
17th,
I'm not a hunter, my husband is like,
Right, Mom?
I wouldn't even know, but I think it's like the third Saturday. I can't remember what it is. You're a hunter, aren't you?
Or third. Should we go the 3rd? Should we go earlier rather than later?
Third would. I think the third would be.
3rd would be better.
Are you ready to come to my, I need a speaker for that day,
On which day?
on Veterans Day,
On Veterans Day?
yeah,
Where was that at?
Marion, in high school.
Oh, Marion High School?
Yeah.
You want me to?
Well, I might,
Okay.
I don't know if I got a speaker or not yet this year.
She's a veteran.
Yeah, because opening day is either the
She's
16th or
She's a good
22nd.
speaker, veteran. Veteran.
I might, I've got some.
We're good speakers when we're yelling at our children. Then we're really great.
Yeah, no, but whatever you pick.
Yeah, I'm open for all of November.
Monday the 3rd look good?
I'm open all the Mondays.
Okay. Craig's
What
got.
works with you?
Yeah, Monday the 3rd's good.
Craig?
Monday the 3rd is
Yeah.
good. Yeah, Monday the 3rd looks good.
Alright. Same time, same place, same bet channel.
Yeah.
Same technology issues.
Correct.
I hope not, sorry. about
And you
that.
said that last time too.
I know it, I know
I was gonna say, but
it. Knock on wood.
The room next door to your office up there, the highway shop.
Potentially, I'll ask,
Because
Could
the
move
hookup.
that, though, because I'll be on
if he.
duty.
if he's
Oh, okay,
working,
well,
yeah,
then
that's the
yeah,
key,
yeah.
that's the.
Sorry,
key.
I'm
That one day I do work, I have.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, no.
yep,
No. Here's fine, I'm
Okay.
just saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So that's,
November 3rd, 10 a.m. Okay, the budget, I sent it out digitally, it's really zero change from last year, except for the. I'm sorry, did you have an update?
Just making sure we go into closed session when we're supposed to.
We will, I just got
Just
point
making
eight,
sure.
After.
yep, I got point eight on the budget.
yeah,
Okay.
So the 2026 proposed budget, I sent it out digitally, really the only update on that was we did get a 5% increase.
no, that's fine, I trust everybody, I trust everybody.
5% increase on the grant for from WDVA. Very nice increase on that. 16.6, I believe, was the update. If yeah, 16.6 was the new number on that. So that was really the only change other than that, other than personnel services. But the rest of the budget items that I was able to modify, we didn't need to thankfully modify anything else in there. One thing of note, Craig and I will be going to ask for a little bit more funding from the grant resource that we have at the city of Waupaca. Well, that's not
Community
really the
chest.
city of Waupaca, it's a community chest.
Yeah.
Because we're probably gonna enhance some work. We're gonna retool our work, I guess, with the radio station, WTU or 92 Lakes 92.7.
We got a lot of good feedback.
Yeah.
Last year when we advertised our new Packer games. So we're gonna try to do that
We're gonna try to do
next year and try to do it again if we can get some basically donated.
Yeah.
Community chest grant. So,
grant funds,
Good.
yeah, and kind of retool our whole radio advertising strategy. I think we're gonna talk it over with them and just see what our options are, what's available, and what we can do.
It's been a really good use of
Yeah,
funds, I
I
think,
think so.
compared to like the newspaper or something. like
Newspaper's
that.
tough. It's getting thinner and thinner, and
Well,
they're
it's
very
getting-
people are
expensive.
starting not to read it so much, yeah.
It's so
I
expensive.
look at the pictures.
I like go to the obituaries, I read the horoscope and I'm done.
It just seems like it's so expensive for what you get.
Yeah.
And you can get it all online now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More people are listening to the radio. It seems like. Oh, I don't know.
Going back to that.
Yep. So that's really the budget. So I guess we'll be looking to have that approved so we can send.
I'll
that
make
on
a
the
motion to
page.
approve the budget.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried. I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Oh, let me read that. real quick.
Yeah, you gotta officially read it.
Yeah, motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85 sub 1 sub F, considering financial, medical, social, or personal histories or disciplinary data of specific persons, preliminary consideration of specific personnel problems, or the investigation of charges against specific persons, except where Paragraph B applies, which, if discussed in public, would be likely to have a substantial adverse effect upon the reputation of any person referred to in such histories or data or involved in such problems or investigations to discuss and approve Veteran Service Commission grant applications and Veteran Service Commission budget and disbursement reports for the periods indicated below, which is 4/22/2025 to 7/22/2025.
Make a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried. We are now in
Me,
closed.
turn this off. Real quick.
Could have sworn to get it turned on.
Just make sure.
Yeah, don't break anything shutting it off.
Make sure it's off.
All of a sudden you hear, oops.